I'm standing in the main conference room on the 14th floor when Liam Ashford, the CEO's golden child, slams a manila folder onto the glass table so hard that everyone in the room flinches. The sound echoes like a gunshot through the open-plan office beyond, and I watch heads turn, watch employees crane their necks to see what's happening behind the glass walls. We're a spectacle. That's intentional. Liam always performs his cruelty in public. Yannick, you're fired for betraying this company. His voice carries across the entire floor, amplified by rage and self-righteousness. His face is flushed, his expensive suit rumpled like he's been pacing, working himself into this fury for hours. Behind him, members of the executive team shift uncomfortably. Some look shocked, others look away. They know something's wrong with this scene, but no one will challenge the CEO's son. Not openly. Not when their careers depend on his father's goodwill. My stomach drops, but not for the reason Liam thinks. Not because I'm afraid of being fired. Not because I'm guilty of whatever he's accusing me of. My stomach drops because I know what's about to happen, and I know Liam Ashford has absolutely no idea what he's just triggered. He thinks he's won. He thinks this is his triumphant moment, the culmination of months of careful maneuvering to push me out and claim my work as his own. He has no idea he's just stepped on a landmine I carefully placed and patiently waited for him to find. Instead of defending myself, instead of shouting back or pleading or showing any of the emotions he's expecting, I calmly close my laptop. The click is soft but definitive in the sudden silence. Every person in that conference room is staring at me, waiting for me to explode, to beg, to break down. Liam's anticipating it too. I can see it in the gleam in his eyes, the slight smirk playing at the corner of his mouth. He wants me to make a scene so he can have security drag me out, so he can be the hero who caught the traitor. But I don't give him that satisfaction. Instead, I unplug my laptop charger, wrap the cord neatly around my hand, and place everything carefully into my messenger bag. My movements are methodical, unhurried. I take a sip of my coffee, still warm, thankfully, and set the mug down on a coaster. Then I stand up, smooth down my shirt, and look Liam directly in the eyes. Is that all? I ask quietly. My voice is steady, calm, almost bored. The effect is immediate and unsettling. Liam's smirk falters. He's thrown off his script. What? He sputters. Aren't you going to defend yourself? Aren't you going to deny leaking our proprietary technology to competitors? I let a small smile play across my face, not cocky, just knowing. No, I say simply. I'm not going to defend myself. Not to you. Not here. I pick up my bag and walk toward the door. The sea of executives parts to let me through, and I can feel their confusion radiating like heat. This isn't how these scenes usually play out. People fight. They plead. They cry. They rage. They don't just leave. As I reach the door, I pause and look back at Liam one more time. You should probably check the patent filing dates before you celebrate, I say softly. Then I walk out, leaving him standing there with his mouth hanging open, his prepared victory speech dying on his lips. Sarah catches up with me in the hallway as security is approaching. Two large men in blazers with radios, looking uncomfortable with their assignment. Sarah Martinez has been my closest friend at Ashford Technologies for 3 years, the only person in this building I truly trust. She's brilliant, sharp, and one of the few people who's seen through Liam's manufactured charm from day one. Yannick, she grabs my arm, her voice urgent and low. Liam submitted your entire project under his name this morning. The neural interface prototype, the adaptive algorithms, everything. He's claiming he developed it all, and you were just his assistant. He told the board you were trying to steal it and sell it to competitors. Her eyes are wide with anger and disbelief. I nod calmly. I know. I expected it. Sarah blinks, clearly thrown by my lack of reaction. You knew. Then why didn't you stop him? Why didn't you go to the CEO or the board or... I squeeze her arm gently, cutting her off. Because I needed him to do exactly this. I needed him to commit completely. Half measures wouldn't have been enough. The security guards are close now, looking apologetic. I recognize them, Mike and Tony, good guys who've been working here for years. Mr. Thompson, Mike says awkwardly, we've been asked to escort you from the building. I give him a reassuring smile. I know, Mike. You're just doing your job. Lead the way. As we walk through the office toward the elevators, past cubicles and conference rooms, past colleagues who've worked with me for years, I feel their eyes on me. Some look shocked. Some look sympathetic. A few look triumphant, Liam's allies, the ones who've benefited from his nepotistic rise and see me as competition eliminated. But most just look confused, trying to reconcile the accusations with the Yannick Thompson they know. The guy who stays late helping junior engineers with their code, who brings coffee for the cleaning staff, who's never once raised his voice or played office politics. We reach the lobby, and Mike and Tony stop at the security desk. "Mr. Thompson," Tony says quietly, "for what it's worth, we don't believe you did what they're saying. Everyone here knows who does the real work." I thank them sincerely, then turn away to face the massive floor-to-ceiling windows that look out onto the street. My reflection stares back at me. 32 years old, black, exhausted but determined, wearing the same patient expression I've worn through months of Liam's theft and gaslighting. I pull out my phone and open a group chat labeled simply Legal Team. 3 contacts: Catherine Chun, Marcus Rivera, and David Okonkwo. Patent attorneys, the best in the city, people I've been working with quietly for the past 6 months, while Liam thought I was oblivious to his schemes. I type 3 words. "It's time." The responses come immediately. "On our way. ETA 8 minutes. Catherine, ready. See you soon. Marcus, let's do this. David." I slide my phone back into my pocket and wait. 8 minutes. In 8 minutes, Liam Ashford's world is going to implode, and unlike him, I'm going to feel absolutely no guilt about it. 6 months earlier, I'd been working late in the lab. Not unusual for me. I'd always been the type to lose track of time when I was deep in a problem, chasing a solution through lines of code and circuit diagrams until suddenly it was 2 a.m. and the cleaning crew was asking if I planned to sleep here. That night, I'd finally cracked it. The adaptive neural interface that could learn user patterns and adjust in real time, making prosthetics and accessibility devices exponentially more intuitive. I'd been so excited that I'd immediately wanted to share it with someone. That someone should have been my team, my colleagues, the people I worked with every day. But something had stopped me. A creeping suspicion, a pattern I'd been noticing for months. Every time I shared a breakthrough with Liam, who as VP of Innovation was technically my direct supervisor, that breakthrough would somehow end up presented to the board as his idea. My detailed explanations would be simplified into vague concepts. My technical specifications would be reframed as his vision, and I'd be mentioned, if at all, as part of the team that helped execute my concepts. At first, I'd told myself I was being paranoid, that this was just how corporate credit worked, how ideas filtered up through hierarchies. But then I'd overheard a conversation that shattered that rationalization completely. I'd been working late again, had gone to the break room for coffee, and heard voices from Liam's office, his door slightly ajar, light spilling into the hallway. I'd paused, not intentionally eavesdropping, but frozen by the sound of my own name. Yannick does the work. I take the credit. That's what leadership is. Liam's voice, casual and proud, like he was sharing wisdom with whoever he was talking to. A friend's laughter in response. "That's cold, man. Doesn't he ever call you out?" More laughter from Liam. "Call me out. Yannick. No way. He's too nice, too focused on the work. He actually believes that good work speaks for itself. It's adorable, really." Meanwhile, I'm building my resume on his genius, and my father's too proud of me to ask questions. I'd stood in that hallway for a full minute, coffee forgotten, feeling something cold and hard settle in my chest. Then I'd walked back to my office, pulled out my phone, and started recording. Every subsequent conversation with Liam was documented. Every meeting where he claimed my ideas. Every email where he reframed my work as his vision. I collected evidence like a detective, methodical and thorough, because I knew one day I'd need it. But more importantly, I'd gone to see a patent attorney the very next morning. Catherine Chen had listened to my story with growing alarm, then growing respect as I showed her my documentation. "File immediately," she'd advised. "File for the patent in your name only. Don't tell anyone at the company. If what you're saying is true, you need to protect your work before they try to claim it." I'd filed the patent application that week. The neural interface adaptive algorithm, the hardware integration specifications, the unique signal processing approach, all of it documented, notarized, and submitted to the patent office under my name, Yannick Elijah Thompson, sole inventor. The date stamp read March 15th, 2023, a full year before Ashford Technologies would begin funding what Liam would claim was his project. The elevator dings. The doors slide open, and 3 people step out who look like they've walked straight off a legal drama. Catherine Chin in a navy power suit, Marcus Rivera in charcoal gray, and David Okonkwo in a suit so crisp it could cut paper. They're each carrying briefcases, and their expressions are uniformly serious. Professional. Predatory in the way that really good lawyers are when they know they're about to destroy someone who deserves it. The receptionist, Amanda, gasps audibly. She recognizes power when she sees it, and she's seen enough corporate lawyers over the years to know these three are the kind you bring when you're planning to burn everything down. "Can I help you?" she asks weakly. Catherine doesn't even glance at her. "We're here to see Liam Ashford and CEO Richard Ashford. We have documents that require immediate delivery. Do you have an appointment?" Amanda tries, but her heart clearly isn't in it. David gives her a smile that doesn't reach his eyes. "We don't need one. This is a legal matter. If you'd like to call security or attempt to stop us, please be aware that will be noted in our report and may constitute obstruction." Amanda reaches for her phone, but doesn't dial. Let me call up to Mr. Ashford's office." "You do that," Marcus says pleasantly, and the three of them wait with the infinite patience of people who know they hold all the cards. I stand to the side, watching, feeling a surge of satisfaction so intense it's almost physical. This is happening. After months of watching Liam steal credit, belittle my contributions, and gaslight me into doubting my own worth, this is finally happening. Amanda's call is brief and clearly confusing for whoever answered. "There are 3 attorneys here to see Mr. Ashford. They say it's urgent. Legal documents." A pause. "Yes, I know he's in a meeting. Yes, I'll tell them." She hangs up and looks at my lawyers with an expression somewhere between apologetic and awed. "Mr. Ashford will see you in 5 minutes. You can wait in the lobby." "We'll wait in his office," Catherine says, and walks toward the elevators before Amanda can protest. Marcus and David follow, and I trail behind them, no longer an ex-employee being escorted out, but part of a legal team about to deliver consequences. We ride up in silence, and I can see my reflection in the polished elevator doors. Standing among these 3 accomplished attorneys, I look different. Powerful. Like someone who's done waiting for justice and decided to create it himself. The elevator opens onto the executive floor, and we walk past assistants and junior executives who scramble to figure out what's happening. Liam is still in the conference room, surrounded by the same executives who witnessed my firing, and he's clearly in the middle of a triumphant speech about protecting company assets and making tough leadership decisions. Through the glass walls, I can see him gesturing dramatically, can see his father sitting at the head of the table looking grave but proud. Catherine doesn't knock. She opens the door, walks directly to where Liam stands, and drops a thick legal packet in front of him with a thud that silences the room. Marcus does the same in front of Richard Ashford. David sets a 3rd copy on the table for the general counsel, who's sitting to Richard's right looking increasingly alarmed. "Mr. Liam Ashford," Catherine begins, her voice clear and carrying, "you are hereby served with a cease and desist order regarding your unauthorized use, presentation, and attempted theft of patented technology belonging to Mr. Yannick Thompson. You are also served with notice of patent infringement, as Mr. Thompson is the sole legal owner of the neural interface technology you claimed as your own this morning. Any further use, discussion, or presentation of this technology without Mr. Thompson's express written permission will result in immediate legal action and significant financial penalties." Liam laughs. It's not a nervous laugh or a confused laugh. It's genuine, dismissive amusement. He doesn't even open the packet, just looks at me with something close to pity. "You expect us to believe you own it? Yannick, this company funded the entire project. We own everything developed here. That's in your employment contract. Did you even read it before you tried this desperate stunt?" But Catherine is already shaking her head, a small smile playing at her lips. "Open to page 3, Mr. Ashford. The filing date." Liam's smile falters slightly, but he humors her, flipping open the packet with exaggerated casualness. His eyes scan the page. Then stop. Then go wide. This says the patent was filed March 2023. That's. His voice trails off as his brain catches up with the implications. 1 year before Ashford Technologies began funding any aspect of the neural interface project, Marcus finishes smoothly. Mr. Thompson developed this technology independently, on his own time, with his own resources. The version you've been claiming as your own was actually Mr. Thompson's intellectual property that he graciously allowed the company to use. Until today, when you terminated his employment and attempted to claim sole ownership. The room has gone absolutely silent. Richard Ashford is reading his copy of the documents, his face growing paler with each page. The general counsel looks like she wants to crawl under the table. The other executives are exchanging glances ranging from shock to schadenfreude. Some of them clearly never liked Liam, but couldn't say anything, and now they're watching his fall with barely concealed satisfaction. "Dad," Liam turns to his father desperately. "This is obviously a trick. He's probably backdated these documents or something. We can't just—" But Richard holds up a hand, silencing his son. "Liam, be quiet." It might be the first time I've ever heard Richard Ashford speak sharply to his precious son. He looks at David. "These patents are registered with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office?" "Fully registered, fully approved, publicly searchable," David confirms. "I can give you the patent numbers right now if you'd like to verify them." Richard pulls out his phone with shaking hands and starts typing. The silence stretches as he searches, finds, reads. His face goes from pale to gray. "It's real," he whispers. "The patents are real. Filed March 15th, 2023. Approved September 2023. Listed inventor, Yannick Elijah Thompson." Liam grabs his father's phone, staring at the screen like it's betrayed him. But he can't. "We've been using this technology for months. We've built entire product lines around it. We have contracts with clients based on—" He stops, the full weight of the disaster finally hitting him. "Oh God. Oh God indeed," Catherine says crisply. "As of this moment, Ashford Technologies is in violation of patent law. Every device using Mr. Thompson's technology, every presentation that included his algorithms, every contract promising deliverables based on his innovations, all of it is now legally problematic. And given that Mr. Ashford," she gestures to Liam, "fired Mr. Thompson this morning while simultaneously attempting to claim sole ownership of Mr. Thompson's patented work, we have a rather clear-cut case of willful infringement and theft of intellectual property." The general counsel finds her voice, though it's shaky. "How much of our current product line depends on this neural interface technology?" Richard looks at her, then at Liam, his expression somewhere between fury and desperation. 70%. Maybe more. The defense contracts, the medical device partnerships, the accessibility tech initiatives, all of it is built on the adaptive interface. "Then as of this moment," Marcus says, "you need to cease all use of that technology until ownership and licensing can be properly established. Every device needs to be pulled. Every presentation needs to be revised. Every contract needs to be renegotiated." His words are methodical, each one a nail in Ashford Technologies' coffin. And given Mr. Thompson's wrongful termination and the public humiliation he was subjected to, I think we can all agree that renegotiation won't be simple. "This will cost us millions," Richard breathes. "Hourly. Every hour we're not operational, we're losing money and credibility." He looks at me for the first time since this began, really looks at me, and I see recognition dawning in his eyes. Recognition of who I really am, what I really contributed, how catastrophically he misjudged the situation by blindly believing his son. "Yannick, Mr. Thompson, surely we can." "The board needs to be informed immediately," the general counsel interrupts, her voice stronger now. She's going into crisis management mode, and part of that crisis is getting control of this situation before it spirals further. "And we need an emergency meeting. Now, everyone in this room needs to stay, and we need to call in the full board of directors." Phones start coming out. Calls are made. And through it all, Liam stands frozen at the head of the table, his triumph from 20 minutes ago completely evaporated, replaced by dawning horror as he watches his house of cards collapse in real time. He looks at me once, and I meet his gaze steadily. No gloating, no anger, just calm acknowledgement that actions have consequences, and his consequences have finally arrived. Within 2 hours, the conference room is packed with the full board of directors, major investors, and key executives. Word has spread through the building like wildfire. Whispered conversations in hallways, urgent Slack messages, shocked faces pressed against glass walls trying to see what's happening. The receptionist has fielded a dozen calls from journalists who somehow already know something major is going down at Ashford Technologies. I'm sitting in a chair against the wall, technically present but not at the table. My lawyers are handling the formal presentation. But every eye in the room keeps flickering to me, reassessing. These people have seen me for years, passed me in hallways, sat in meetings with me. But they never really saw me, never really understood that the quiet engineer who did brilliant work without seeking credit was the actual foundation their company was built on. Catherine is presenting the evidence with brutal efficiency. Patent documents projected on the screen. Filing dates. Approval letters. Then come the recordings. I'd edited them down to the most damning excerpts, and watching the board members' faces as they hear Liam's voice saying, "Yannick does the work, I take the credit, that's what leadership is almost worth the months of humiliation I endured." Then come the emails. Hundreds of them, showing a clear pattern. I'd send detailed technical specifications to Liam. Hours or days later, he'd present those same specifications to the board or clients, with his name on them and my contributions either erased or minimized. Side-by-side comparisons make the theft undeniable. Time stamps make the timeline clear. My documentation is meticulous, damning, irrefutable. One of the senior board members, Margaret Chen, no relation to Catherine, though they joked about it during our prep sessions, leans forward with an expression of cold fury. "Mr. Ashford," she addresses Richard, not Liam, "how long has this been going on?" Richard looks like he's aged 10 years in the past 2 hours. I didn't know. I trusted Liam's reports. He said Yannick was a valuable team member, but that he was providing the vision and leadership while Yannick handled the technical implementation. "That's a lie," Sarah's voice cuts through the room. Everyone turns to look at her, standing in the doorway. I'd texted her to come up, knowing her testimony would be crucial. She walks to the front of the room with her phone in her hand, her usual warm expression replaced by righteous anger. "I work directly with both of them. I've watched Liam steal Yannick's work for 3 years, and I have proof that he's been planning this specific takedown for months." She connects her phone to the presentation screen. Text messages appear, a conversation between Liam and someone named James, apparently a friend from college. The messages are dated over the past 6 months, and they lay out a calculated plan. Isolate Yannick from key projects, build a narrative of him being difficult to work with, create situations where his methods could be questioned, and finally manufacture a crisis that would justify firing him and claiming the neural interface technology as entirely Liam's work. "Jesus Christ," someone mutters. Margaret's expression has gone from fury to disgust. She looks at Liam like he's something unpleasant she's found on her shoe. "You planned this. You systematically stole from an employee, gaslit him, isolated him, and then tried to destroy him to cover your theft. It's not a question." Liam opens his mouth, closes it, opens it again. It wasn't like that. I was trying to protect the company's interests. Yannick was becoming unreliable, making demands threatening. "Show them the recording from this morning," I say quietly. It's the first time I've spoken since the meeting began, and my voice cuts through Liam's babbling. Catherine nods and pulls up another audio file. My phone had been recording in my pocket during the entire firing scene. The board listens to Liam's accusatory rant, his claims that I'd betrayed the company, his dramatic performance. Then they hear my calm response, my lack of defense, my cryptic comment about checking patent dates. He knew, one of the investors realizes. He knew this was coming. He was ready for it. Marcus smiles slightly. Mr. Thompson has been documenting everything for months. He knew exactly what Mr. Liam Ashford was doing, and he gave him every opportunity to stop, to do the right thing. Instead, Mr. Ashford escalated. He didn't just steal credit quietly anymore. He tried to erase Mr. Thompson entirely and claim sole ownership of his work. That's when Mr. Thompson decided it was time to stop protecting the company from the consequences of employing a thief. Richard looks at me, his voice breaking. "Why didn't you come to me? Why didn't you tell me what was happening?" The question hangs in the air, and I consider not answering. But these people deserve to understand. I tried, Mr. Ashford. 3 times. 3 separate occasions where I brought concerns to you about credit attribution and project ownership. Each time, you told me that Liam was learning leadership, that I needed to be a team player, that success at this company meant supporting our leaders, and Liam was your son, your chosen successor. You made it clear that questioning him was questioning you. The silence that follows is crushing. Richard's face crumbles as he realizes the truth. His blind faith in his son, his nepotistic elevation of Liam despite clear evidence of incompetence and theft, his dismissal of concerns from actual talented employees. All of it has led to this disaster. "What do you want?" he asks finally, his voice barely above a whisper. "What will it take to resolve this?" I don't answer. Not yet. Because my lawyers and I had discussed this moment extensively, and we'd agreed. Let them suffer. Let them understand the full scope of what they've lost before we even begin to discuss terms. Let them see their stock price plummet, which it will once news of this gets out. Let them watch clients abandon ship. Let them feel the full weight of consequences before they try to buy their way out. Catherine speaks instead. Mr. Thompson will consider his options. In the meantime, Ashford Technologies is ordered to cease all use of the patented technology, to remove all products from market, and to inform all clients of the current legal situation. We'll be in touch. And with that, she stands. Marcus and David follow. I stand too, and we walk out of that conference room, leaving chaos behind us. The story breaks that same evening. A journalist from TechCrunch, somehow tipped off, maybe by Sarah, maybe by a disgusted board member, maybe by Catherine who knows exactly how to play the media game, publishes an article with the headline, CEO's son steals employee's patent, fires inventor. Now faces multi-million-dollar lawsuit. It's picked up immediately by every major tech news outlet, business journal, and social media platform. My phone explodes with notifications. LinkedIn messages from recruiters, emails from competitors offering jobs, DMs from colleagues expressing support, interview requests from journalists, and a text from Sarah. You're a hero to every employee who's ever had their work stolen. The office is in open revolt. People are demanding Liam be fired. This is beautiful. The next morning, I wake up to find the story has gone fully viral. My name is trending on Twitter. There are think pieces about corporate theft of employee innovations. Legal experts are weighing in on the case, most agreeing I have an open and shut case for not just patent infringement, but also wrongful termination, defamation, and possibly even fraud. Conservative estimates of damages start at $50 million. Some lawyers think I could take the entire company. I'm in my apartment making coffee when my phone rings. Unknown number, but I answer anyway. Mr. Thompson? This is Richard Ashford. His voice sounds like gravel, like he hasn't slept. I'm calling to apologize. And to offer you a settlement. We can make this right. We can. Stop, I interrupt him gently. Mr. Ashford, I don't want your apology right now. And I'm not interested in making this go away quietly. Then what do you want? There's desperation in his voice now. You're going to destroy this company. Decades of work, thousands of employees who had nothing to do with what Liam did, they'll all suffer if you push this. I take a sip of my coffee, considering. He's not wrong. The company employs 4,000 people. Most of them are good people doing good work. You're right, I say finally. So here's what I want, Liam fired. Publicly. Not resigned, not taking another position. Fired for cause with a full explanation. You stepped down as CEO. You enabled this, whether you meant to or not. The board needs to bring in outside leadership who will actually value talent over family connections. You're asking me to destroy my son's career and end my own, Richard says, but his voice lacks conviction. He already knows this is the only path forward. I'm asking you to take responsibility, I correct. Your son destroyed his own career the moment he decided theft and lies were acceptable business practices. And your career ended the moment you chose blind loyalty to family over basic competence and ethics. I'm just making the consequences visible. There's a long silence. Then, and if I do this? If Liam is removed and I step down? Will you drop the lawsuit? I smile, even though he can't see it. No. The lawsuit proceeds. You don't buy your way out of accountability. But I'll license the technology to Ashford Technologies at reasonable rates so the company can survive and those 4,000 employees can keep their jobs. I'll even consider coming back as Chief Innovation Officer with full creative control and significant equity. But only after the leadership that enabled theft is gone. 3 days later, an emergency board meeting results in both Richard and Liam Ashford being removed from the company. Richard's departure is framed as retirement, but everyone knows the truth. Liam's is more honest, fired for conduct inconsistent with company values and potential legal violations. Security escorts him from the building, the same 2 guards who escorted me out days earlier. I'm not there to see it, but Sarah sends me a video. Liam looks small, diminished, destroyed. I watch it once and feel nothing. No triumph, no pity. Just the calm satisfaction of natural consequences.